Okay, am I looking at this or this?
You can look at this camera.
Okay.
It's gonna be fine. You're already being videotaped. Actually, Marcus happy. Over here. So you don't have to look at that camera. You can just look at this one.
Okay.
I grew up in a Christian home, so I've always known who Jesus was, and I've always believed.
I didn't really have any exposure to Christianity growing up, so kind of a whole new experience.
My dad is a pastor and my mother grew up Baptist, so I grew up super conservative. I grew up Christian. I accepted Christ into my heart at 7 years old, and from there I just kind of sprouted and not sprouted and then sprouted again. You know how testimonies go. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I pretty much grew up in the church.
My current relationship with God, I'd say it's growing a lot. Coming to Judson, hearing a lot of other people's opinions and other people's beliefs have made me question my faith, but in a good way, in a way that makes me grow and learn more about who I am and who I am in Christ.
Currently, it's a bit of a corn maze, kind of. Don't really know. I mean, I know some stuff, but I'm still learning stuff, and I don't know, just still growing. I put it in progress.
Since I've been a Christian my entire life, God has never been a thing that I've doubted. Whereas Jesus, on the other hand, like, we go in and out. Sometimes I feel like, is he real? And if he's real, does he really like love me like he says he does? But when it comes to the Creator, like, let's look around. He's everywhere, you know? So there's no way that I could doubt God. But me and Jesus sometimes, and even now, we're not hand in hand, happy-go-lucky, you know?
Definitely still has its ups and downs. I think since taking it more seriously, like, you know, like, you think things are gonna get easier, like, as a relationship with Christ gets better, but I think a lot of things have still been very challenging for me.
That's a hard question. It's really hard with everything that happens in our lives and just like in around us to believe that he's a good God and that he has like a good plan for us.
Like, just the big one is if he even exists. I mean, I think a lot of people have that doubt of he's even real, or if anything that's said in the Bible is true, or just like the big doubts like that. But I mean, I don't really think I have a doubt that much about it that he's real. I still think that he's real. It's just, I think that'd be like a big doubt that I've had before.
Specifically, I don't know what Jesus' love should feel like. And also, I don't know what it should feel like to love Jesus. And sometimes I kind of blame that on I've never fallen in love before, or like I'm not sure like what love looks like outside of my parents. And so I've kind of allowed that to affect my relationship with Christ. And I'm trying to fall in love with him again, but sometimes I fall short, like crazy short, you know.
I definitely do have like a lot of doubt a lot of times, and I think a lot of that comes more to with like, you know, the more you learn about God, the more you learn how big he is, and I think that's really cool. But then at the same time, like, there's a lot of things that I still question and a lot of doubt that I still go through. It definitely go hand in hand, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely like a growing process, and like I wouldn't say like I have not lived together by any means. So it's pretty cool, but yeah, I'd say there's a lot of ups and downs that I've gone through.
I think they're complementary. Because I feel like if you're sure of everything, you don't really have a need for faith. I feel like faith kind of stems from some of our doubts. I feel like everyone has doubts, but faith is just moving past those doubts and believing despite what you doubt.
You can have faith in God, but you can also like doubt God certain days. So I mean, it kind of can depend really on a day-to-day basis. But I'd say they go hand in hand.
Obviously, when you think of faith, you think of people who don't doubt there is a God. But I think in order to have a strong faith base, you have to understand how much you doubt God. You can't move forward unless you know how far back you are. So
I think God wants us to come forward with that doubt. I don't think that's something we're supposed to battle like on our own. And I think He wants us to be honest with Him. And so like when we doubt, I think that can actually draw us closer to God.
For me, just looking around at the earth and creation makes it hard for me not to believe in God. I figure something or someone must have made what we live in, and so for me, I believe that's God.
I think just seeing the world and there's so much bad that happens in the world, but there's also so much good in just the trees and the sky and just the beauty that He makes with like the world and how He shapes it, and just seeing it every day is reassuring.
it is in creation, but I also think it's in the people that you meet, the relationships that you have. I see God in just about everybody, you know? I think that he reinstills Himself through us because we are His imagery, so.
I wouldn't say I've doubted things, I guess, within like Christianity from time to time, but I don't think I've ever really entirely doubted God's existence. I guess just like where I find that or the place that I experience God the most is just like finding that peace of mind and things that I do. And I know like the only person who can really bring peace is Jesus.
Feel closest to God in worship.
Praying is kind of like you're just having a conversation, and that's when you feel the closest with Him.
When I feel closest to God is when I'm able to be vulnerable about myself. When I'm able to admit mistakes about me or my viewpoints or whatever it is. When I know that I'm not perfect.
Like I said, I think some of the times that I've drawn closest to God is probably through like suffering, when things just aren't going my way, because when things do go my way, it's like, oh yeah, I got this, like things are going great. I don't need any help, like obviously this is going well. So I think a lot of times when I draw closest to God is probably through like my suffering, when things just seem like they're not going my way.
I feel like one thing, I feel like would be a long answer for him, but I've always wondered why He created free will. I get it to some extent, but if He just would have never created it, then everything would be okay.
Probably just what's the purpose? And I think a lot of people would ask that, just like, what's the purpose of everything? Like, why are we here?
I would really like to know how He allowed all of the oppression that happens now, or even in the past, you know, like, I don't know, kind of get into the minds of the evil people that have made all this happen.
Probably, I think for me it's kind of just going back to that like provision of my future, just like a better understanding of what He has planned for me, because sometimes it's very hard to see and it's kind of scary.
Someone who's facing doubts, I feel like it's easy for them to think that they shouldn't be doubting, but I think it's okay, and I feel like everyone goes through, even if you're a strong Christian, you go through phases of doubt. So I would say just kind of rest in the doubt and just have faith that you're going through those for a reason, and that if you work through those, it'll make your relationship with God stronger.
Just keep asking questions. I mean, you're not going to figure out everything. I mean, I know people that have been a Christian for their whole life and they still don't know everything, so just always just keep asking questions and just trying to figure out answers from a bunch of different people. That's all you can do.
that don't be scared to doubt God. Even David was a man after God's own heart, and he struggled, you know, like, it's not bad to be in lament, it's not bad to be in question, but always know that you're striving to get back to God. You can't just allow yourself to be in limbo for forever, but I would say it's not bad, it's not abnormal at all to be in doubt.
I'd say like don't do it on your own, for sure. You know, be honest. Like don't think that, you know, if you're doubting something that God is doing, or if you're even doubting God himself, like don't think that, oh, he like is gonna punish me for this. Like that's how a relationship works. Obviously, like you got to be honest with him, and that's what he wants. You know, he wants you to lament, and he wants to know what you're feeling, even if it's, you know, you're feeling that he doesn't even exist. Like he wants you to be honest with him.
That was easy, right? That was easy, right?
Yeah.